Hey guys, it's Jordan with National Speed, and today we're taking you over our shoulder as we install our Stage-4 naturally aspirated plus flex fuel package on Danny's 2024 C8 Corvette Stingray. We'll show you the full process including camshaft and supporting modifications, before and after dyno results, and we'll also show you how our NS1 and NS2 camshaft profiles compare. And with that, let's get started. Up first, we start with baseline dyno pulls to establish our starting point for horsepower and torque. Coming right in as expected at 429 wheel horsepower and 414 pound-feet of torque. From there, the car heads into the shop for John to begin the installation of our Stage-4 naturally aspirated plus flex fuel package. Now, instead of breaking down every component included in this package, we've already done a video on that exact topic, so if you're interested, definitely check that out. To get started, John removes the ECU for unlocking with HP tuners. Then moves into disassembly, removing the rear bumper, draining fluids, and disconnecting everything needed to pull the powertrain. And just like that, the rear cradle and powertrain are out. John likes to set the powertrain up high, which makes everything easier to access as teardown continues. From there, components start coming off. The existing Corsa exhaust system, the stock intake system, followed by the exhaust manifolds and catalytic converters, and then the intake manifold assembly. Next up are the direct injection fuel injectors, followed by the valve covers, which give access to the valve train so the cylinder heads can be removed. Rocker arms first, then push rods, and with the head bolts out, the cylinder heads come right off. From there, the front cover is removed to access the oil pump and timing set. And then the lifters are pulled, including the factory failure-prone AFM DoD lifters. And here's a quick look at the difference between a standard lifter and the AFM DoD lifters. With that out of the way, the camshaft is removed. The AFM DoD system is now fully eliminated, and the short block is separated from the cradle. From there, the cleanup process begins, and that means removing all the old silicone to ensure everything seals properly during reassembly. Once everything is cleaned up, it's ready for fresh silicone and OEM GM seals and O-rings. With that handled, reassembly begins. First up are the AFM DoD solenoid plugs, followed by the camshaft, and as we've mentioned, our Stage-4 naturally aspirated package includes either our NS1 camshaft grind, which offers literal stock-like drivability, or the more aggressive NS2, which adds 20 to 30 horsepower while still remaining daily drivable. In this case, Danny opted for the NS1 grind. From there, the OEM GM non-AFM DoD lifters are installed. Followed by the camshaft phaser lockout and the GMPP C5R timing chain. With the engine timed, reassembly continues and the short block is set back into the cradle to be reunited with the transaxle. Up next, the Gwatney Performance CNC ported cylinder heads are installed. Equipped with Bryan Tooley Racing valve springs and retainers. From there, John installs the Bryan Tooley Racing rocker arm trunnion bearing upgrade. The factory uses needle bearings which wear out over time, especially with an upgraded camshaft. Switching to an inner race design improves durability and also helps reduce some of the typical LT valve train noise at idle. Next up are the upgraded push rods. And this is a good example of why they're strongly recommended on builds like these. Even on a relatively low mileage car like this one, we found a bent push rod on disassembly. And this becomes more likely as power and valve train stress increases. From there, the push rods and rocker arms are installed and reassembly continues. high pressure fuel pump is set up for the camshaft and installed, followed by the intake manifold and LT5 95mm throttle body. On the exhaust side, Kooks headers are installed. Along with the Stainless Works mid-pipes featuring EPA-Compliant GSport by GESi catalytic converters. And catalytic converter blankets to help manage engine bay temperatures. Up top, the Haltech Hornet intake system is installed. And the powertrain and cradle are prepared for reinstallation. With everything back together, the powertrain is reinstalled into the car. From there, John completes the DSX tuning flex fuel conversion. And right on cue, the unlocked ECU returns from HP Tuners and is reinstalled. Now, since we're setting this car up for flex fuel, most of the 93 octane is drained from the tank. This allows us to safely complete the 93 octane tune and then increase ethanol content for a true E85 calibration. And once that's completed, the car can run 93 octane, full E85, or anywhere in between without any input needed from the driver. And with that, Vlad straps the car down for the 93 octane tuning session. With the NS1 camshaft on 93 octane, the car comes in right as we would expect, laying down 501 wheel horsepower and 476 pound-feet of torque. That's peak gains of 72 horsepower and 62 pound-feet of torque over stock, with maximum gains of 75 wheel horsepower and 76 pound-feet. And for comparison, here's how that stacks up against the more aggressive NS2 camshaft profile. With the NS2 grind, output increases to 532 wheel horsepower, while peak torque dips slightly to 469 pound-feet. So at peak, that's a gain of 31 horsepower with a slight loss of around 7 pound-feet of torque. But up top, the gains are more significant, with maximum increases of 45 horsepower and 37 pound-feet. So there are some trade-offs down low compared to the NS1, but the gains up top more than make up for it. Compared to stock, the NS2 setup shows peak gains of 114 horsepower and 55 pound-feet of torque, with maximum gains of 115 horsepower and 93 pound-feet of torque. And again, it's worth noting that this NS2 profile is still 100% daily drivable. But if your goal is literal stock-like drivability, our NS1 grind is the better fit, just obviously with some trade-off in overall power. From there, with 93 octane wrapped up, Vlad brings the ethanol content up to E85 and moves into the next phase of tuning. And as expected, this is where things step up again. With the NS1 profile on E85, output increases to 526 wheel horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque. Compared to 93 octane, that's peak gains of 26 horsepower and 24 pound-feet of torque, with maximum gains of 32 horsepower and 30 pound-feet of torque. Over stock, that's peak gains of 98 horsepower and 86 pound-feet of torque, with maximum gains of 102 horsepower and 99 pound-feet of torque. And just for fun, let's take a look at this same dyno run with the correction factor set to uncorrected. This will show us what the car was actually producing in these exact conditions. Uncorrected, that same dyno run produced 548 wheel horsepower and 521 pound-feet of torque. So that's realistically what you could expect from the car in the cooler months. And with that, we'll let you enjoy the sounds of Danny's C8 Corvette Stingray, equipped with our Stage-4 naturally aspirated plus flex fuel package. And if you're considering something similar for your C8, we're happy to put together a combination that'll meet your goals. No matter where you're located in the entire United States, we make the process simple, transparent, and straightforward from start to finish. And as always, if you have any questions at all or want to talk through your setup, we're happy to chat. Reach out today to learn more.